Welcome to Better Coffee. I'm Joey.
I'm Jamie.
And Jamie, what are we drinking today?
Absolutely nothing, because we are going to make coffee live for all of you.
Live like 3 months ago when we filmed this, but it's
Probably
live
so.
enough.
Enough. I like that.
Live enough.
But the title of this episode is Pondering, Pour Over. So our goal is to take you step by step through making pour over. So let's get to it. Let's make some coffee.
So here we are in our coffee lab.
Coffee lab. It's exactly the same table we use for the show.
Yeah, same backdrop. I mean, we're in the same spot. We just got like some electronics on here.
Yes, we have 3 electrical items. I think that makes it a coffee lab. I agree. Oh, and the mic.
Yeah, that's 4. But the mic's already there.
I don't care. It's a coffee lab.
All right. So,
lab.
what are we drinking today, Jamie?
We are actually drinking Onyx Coffee Lab Ethiopia Bensa Shanta Hawane. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I love this coffee.
Phenomenal. It is just juicy.
Fruity.
It smells like angels touched the coffee grain before they were picked. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So, but more importantly, we want to show you how we made it.
So that's what we're going to do?
Yeah.
We're going to do a step-by-step process of how we make this coffee every time we drink it on our show. We're going to use this as an example, first off, starting with the Kalita Wave.
That's the brewing method. The pour-over method we'll be using. Yes.
That's right. So starting with the Kalita Wave, then we're going to use a gooseneck kettle and an electric grinder along with the scale. First thing we do, heat up the water.
Heat up the water.
There
All
we
right.
go. So we're going to set it to 203. Oh, look at that. It's at 203.
That's a
There
smart
we
kettle.
go.
That's a beautiful
So we
kettle.
got the water heated up, ready to go. So now we need to grind our coffee.
Okay.
So let's weigh it. We're going to tear out our scale. Get our coffee over here. And what we're going to do, we pulled a lot of recipes from different books, right?
Okay. Yes.
So like the Blue Bottle book, Craft Coffee Guide, a manual. What other ones have we?
We have the Curious Barista Guidebook from Tristan Stephenson. And just a few more to give us an overall idea of, I guess, the ratios, the range, different recipes.
Yeah, so we kind of pulled a little bit from all of those and are kind of using a similar recipe to all those. So what we're going to do is like a 1:16 ratio. So 1 gram of coffee to 16 grams of water. Okay. Basically is what we're doing.
So, and you mentioned we set the temperature. Now, why that temperature? Is there like a range?
Yeah, so I don't like to go above 205. We talked about a lot of that in Coffee Brewing 101.
Correct.
For this coffee, I like it a little cooler, so I'm going to do, about 203.
Okay.
And that's really what I like this coffee at. It just kind of brings out more of those fruity notes, which is really clear in this. Because
if I'm not mistaken, those fruity notes, floral notes that are usually the most delicate tend to be, I guess, very delicate in a way. Like, they go away quickly.
Yes, so they extract at lower temperatures.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so they'll extract further along in the brew or actually earlier in the brew process, but when the water temperature is lower, you're going to get more of those flavors. Gotcha. Okay, so, good to know. So let's start with measuring our coffee beans. We're going to do about 27 grams. Okay. Oh my God, that's like perfect.
That was perfect. We did not plan that at all.
All right, 27 grams of coffee, and now we're going to set our grinder to about 16 on this particular grinder. Yes. Mess around with your grinder, see what you get as far as extraction times when you mess around with your grind. But 16 on this, the Barazza Virtuoso, is about right for a pour over. For me. Okay. That's usually what I do. All right. So let's go ahead and get this ground. All right. If we had an EK 43, that would have been done like
2 seconds.
Yeah.
Max.
We're looking at you, Malcona Egg. I know you're looking to sponsor us.
Sure, sure.
Okay, so now we got our coffee. I just like to weigh it again.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 27
Wow,
grams.
that's spot on.
So
you got the same weight with whole beans and the same weight grounded coffee.
I usually measure my beans like 2 or 3 times during the brewing process, just because I'm a little picky. But yeah, you're gonna get the same coming out. Sometimes grinders retain grind retention.
A little bit, yeah.
So you might have to like adjust for that. Maybe add a gram of coffee of whole beans, depending on your grinder. So.
All right.
First thing we're gonna do, we've got our fresh ground coffee, we've got our water heated up. So now, let's start. So first thing I'm gonna do is take the filter, just a plain white filter, made for the Kalita, and rinse it.
Okay. So why is that step important?
Well, some people will say with these bleached filters,
okay,
you don't necessarily need to do that. And when we say bleach, it's not actually like the chemical bleach. It's there's a process that rinses out all the papery taste.
Yeah.
But for me, I just like to do it because it wets the filter. I think that allows for water to flow through it easier.
So it kind of primes it for the brewing part.
And then you're warming up your brewing vessel. You're warming up your method here, your Kalita wave. Everything's getting warm, which is just better.
Okay. All right.
So let's dump out. Another thing, don't forget to dump out this water. I've done that before, just left it in there, and it makes some pretty bad coffee. So let's dump out that water. All right, and now you're gonna have a little bit of weight left over from the water in the paper filter, so just tear it out again. And this is the 3rd time I measure it. So I pour the grounds into there, and I wanna get 27, and look at that. I got 27.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you want me to turn it off?
Yeah. So now, just shake the grounds out, make sure they're relatively even.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Tear it out. We're ready to go. This is where we start.
Okay, and for those of you who don't know what tear it out means, it's basically if you have something on the scale, when you tear it, it goes back to 0. So it doesn't count the weight of the Carafe or the Kalita.
Yeah.
So it's going to start counting the amount of water Joey puts in there.
Yeah, so it'll just people say zero it out.
Zero it out.
This is a nice scale. It's a very nice scale. So it has a timer on it. So if you don't have a scale if you have a scale that doesn't have a timer on it, just get out your phone, use the stopwatch.
Okay.
You know, I did that for many years. So I'm going to start pouring. And as soon as I start pouring, I'm going to start the timer. So first thing I'm going to do is a 30-second bloom. I'm going to add twice the amount of water as there is coffee. So we have 27 grams.
So that would be 50 something?
54.
54.
That's right. So I'm going to add 54 grams of water and then just let it bloom for about 30 seconds.
Okay.
And make sure you soak all of the grounds evenly.
Okay. And so I've heard there is a reason behind a circular pour and even a side-to-side pour in some brewing methods. Is there...
I always do a circular pour because this has a circular flat bottom.
Yeah. Okay.
So I try and keep it within that little diameter there, within that flat bottom. So now we're at 30 seconds, so I'm going to start pouring.
Okay.
So with this brew method and this recipe, I have 27 grams of coffee, so I'm going to do about 450 grams of water. And with this, I'm going to just do a continuous pour. Sometimes people can do pulse pours, where you just pour a lot of water at once.
And some people stop and
then you stop, let it draw down for a little bit and pour a little bit more. With this kettle, it's so easy just to do a continuous pour. I like to do that because I feel like it just gets everything even.
Okay.
So I'm kind of staying just in that center.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll go around the edge a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, but for the most part, I'm just going to stay in that center.
Yeah, and it's important to stay within the filter, too.
Oh,
because if you get water on the side, you will have water going down into the recipe that's not extracting any coffee.
Exactly. Yeah, so try and stay away from the sides of the filter as much as you can. You'll see some coffee grounds up there. That's okay.
Okay.
So So we're gonna try and reach our target pour of about 450 in around 2 minutes total time. So I didn't stop the timer after the 30-second bloom. So about 2 minutes total time. That way I give it about a minute to draw down.
So on the part of the bloom, going back to the bloom, why is those few seconds important?
The 30 seconds? Mm-hmm. Well, did we talk about that?
I think, yeah, well, it's true, we did. Yeah,
so basically it allows CO2 to escape, and so then you can just start extracting more coffee flavor.
Okay.
So now I'm done with the pour. I'm about 450 at 2 minutes, so I'm gonna let that draw down for a minute. It should be finished around 3 minutes total. Okay. That's the total brew time from the second I start pouring to when all the water drips down through the filter.
Okay, good. And keep in mind, this is just one recipe that we enjoy, that Joey likes to apply to his brews for different reasons. Maybe has the perfect balance of strength of coffee, flavor profiles, taste for our particular, likes. But there are a variety of different recipes that will give you different things.
Yeah, different outcomes.
Yeah,
so you might get a little more body if you brew longer.
Yes.
You might get a lighter body, a little more acidity if you brew it shorter. So we're at 3 minutes. All the water's out of there, so let's take the filter out.
All right.
And then one last step that is so important.
Okay. Ooh.
Blake, do you know why this is important? You don't? I thought you did. Oh, man, okay. So basically, the initial extraction is going to be at the bottom, and the last extraction is going to be at the top. So you're going to have kind of sour flavors at the bottom, bitter flavors at the top that don't balance each other out. So the first cup you pour is going to be more of the last part of the extraction. And then if you pour another cup, it's going to be the first part of the extraction. It won't be balanced.
Gotcha.
So when you do that, you mix everything up, and then you also aerate it, which is, I think, always good to do with beverages.
It's similar to the concept of folding the milk when you steam it. It's kind of like similar.
All right, so there we go. We already warmed these cups up, so let's pour it and taste it. Ooh. Oh yeah. Oh, that's my jam.
Yeah, that's a nice balance.
So yeah, check it out. Onyx Coffee Labs, their Ethiopia Bensa Shantawane. It's a great, makes a great cup of coffee through pour over. Hopefully this step-by-step demonstration helped.
Yeah.
I think this is a really great way to make coffee. It's my favorite way to make coffee, and just produces a great cup.
Yeah. And I think it's important to note, again, there's a lot of recipes. There's a big variety. And there's a lot of playroom depending on what you prefer. Keep in mind, if you favor one thing, you always have to sacrifice another.
Yeah.
If you like body, you'll have to sacrifice someplace else to get that. So it's just a very fun brewing method to experiment with. But
Absolutely.
I think it gives you just a general idea of how to start making better coffee at home, especially with a manual brewing method.
So thanks for joining us in our very own To Better Coffee Lab.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to the studio.
Yes, sir. So thank you for watching, guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow us on Instagram. And hopefully this will help you to get you guys going, making better coffee at home.
So what are we going to talk about next week?
Next week, my friend, we are talking about espresso, pulling the perfect shot.
See you guys next week.